So I was reading this judgment, which mainly revolves around a question whether or not to engage CVI investigation in certain investigations. It says right here, and this is a judgment which reflects on this question. It delves into different aspects, whether to engage Central Bureau of Investigation or not. Now, while perusing the judgment, though this is not the full judgment of State of West Bengal versus Committee of Protection of Democratic Rights, uh, this refers to this judgment. This is a judgment such and such versus State of Haryana, where the question that they had to decide the validity of delegating investigation responsibility onto CBI, and it while doing so, it refers to this judgment. It says a very renowned judgment that delve into this question. Now, while reading, a lot came to my mind, and I want to share some of it with you, and hoping to get a reaction, your thoughts on the same. Now, if I ought to summarize my critique in this respect, just couple of words or adjectives that I can label. One would be it's poetic, it's vague, it's some a sense of complacency is there, and it lacks, I would say, element of judiciousness. And I'm going to tell you why I think in those line of thoughts. For that, first you need to read it. It says, insofar as the question of issuing a direction to CBI to conduct investigation in a case is concerned, although no inflexible guidance can be laid down to decide whether or not such power should be exercised, but time and again it has been reiterated that such an order is not to be passed as a matter of routine or merely because a party has leveled some allegation against the local body. Now, sorry, the local police. Till this portion, if I say so, level some allegation, not including this, I would say this is fine. But if you read this subsequent words and phrases, it says it uses the word local police. Now, definitely, CBI is not the only authority. There are other authorities. They can also undertake an investigation. But anyway, let's continue. It says this extraordinary power must be exercised sparingly. So, from here, the words which have been used, I have a serious objection. So, for example, this the word extraordinary power. When it comes to justice, if Supreme Court really tend to or think in that respect, or that it delivers justice, that is its solo objective or the purpose or the obligation, constitutional obligation, then I don't think thinking in that line that they have something exclusive. I don't think there is anything exclusive in that. There is nothing exclusive. The judiciary has a very specific roles and responsibility. Legislature, they have very specific roles and responsibility, and executives also for the same. For legislature, they have been given parliament so that they can all come together and you know uh, make laws. Judiciaries, they have been given codes so that they can decide validity of certain laws. Executives, they have the authority, they have the outreach so that they can promulgate or they can enforce. So they all have specific forums, and in order to fulfill those responsibilities and obligations, they have been given certain tools and technologies, let's say. So thinking that something is exclusive, that thinking is, I don't know, it's very hard to define. It's like you are too conscious about the power but not the objective, so that you are deviating from the objective when thinking more in the line of what sort of authorities you have, which is exclusive, which is powerful, which is less powerful, or something that are probably quantitative in nature but not the qualitative in nature, must be exercised sparingly. Now, again, the contention that it is an exclusive power and it should be used sparingly again deviates from the core objective of judiciary, which is to deliver justice at any cost. Whether it is an extraordinary power or a regular power, I don't think those are the topics that or areas that judiciary needs to uh, you know contemplate. They have been given different set of powers in the constitution. They all are ordinary and they all are extraordinary. It depends, because the thought, the origination of all this comes from justice. And this is also very vague when you think of I mean, extraordinary power exercised sparingly, cautiously, and exceptional situations. Now that's again something quite vague, because what do you mean by exceptional? So again, you are sort of saying that it's not the justice but the importance or the uh, grievance or the degree or the height of a situation that determines whether that power should be used or not, but not the justice itself. So, in a way, you can say if it is a small matter, small justice, maybe it involves a person from small, lower socioeconomic strata, they may not be inclined to use it. Why? Because if a poor man is dying, let him die. If a poor man is suffering, let him suffer. Something that comes to my mind, where it becomes necessary to provide credibility and instill confidence in investigations. So, one practical understanding we all have: anytime an investigation is conducted by a police, if you do a common survey, I think 99% people will say they don't trust the police authority. CBI also, the trust, the faith, the expertise, the skill, I think has eroded over a period. Again, those sort of things can be evaluated, I think, given the current form of authoritarian government we have. I don't think these kind of studies are done, but if they are done, I'll not be surprised to see the result, where the incident may have national and international ramification. Now this is again a, I would say, great injustice that judiciary would commit if they think in that manner, that they would only use CBI or CID only when acts will have national or international implication. So again, I've been saying that these line of thoughts or lines of thoughts are far from what you have justice in your mind? Because if justice is a priority, then the first priority, whether to engage a certain entity in an investigation, is kept in mind just to make sure that the justice can be delivered, where such an order may be necessary for doing complete justice. Now, again, this part is a bit poetic, I would say, because I don't think any court or any officer, even in the good conscience, would say that, we, the judiciary, deliver full justice. Nobody would, I think, in their right mind, any judge, I would really would like to see someone who can say, you know what, we deliver 100% justice. Okay. And enforcing the fundamental rights, I do not know how that relates. Uh, what would have been simpler if they have just stated that whether to bring certain agencies or not will be decided on a factor, and that factor would be whether the integrity of the investigation, or there should not be any compromise with the integrity of the investigation. So, if whether to engage certain agencies or whether to local police, let them continue with the investigation. If the authority who is doing the investigation, if it does not compromise the principles of, let's say, fairness, the bias, the influence, all these factors, then I think that entity is fine to conduct the investigation. Now, the complacency part. Why I said that this part will tell you that judiciary is not thinking judicious manner in certain ways. I'll tell you how. And this is something they are giving it as an explanation why not to engage CBI. They're saying that CBI would be flooded with a large number of cases and with limited resources may find it difficult to properly investigate even serious cases, and in the process lose its credibility and purpose with unsatisfactory investigations. Now, couple of things. Unsatisfactory investigation, most of the investigations are unsatisfactory, that's a fact. If we once any investigation is over, if we do a survey, I don't think anybody is going to give a smiley face. So I think the Supreme Court should dispense itself with those sort of poetic ideas or literary ideas. Now, this part, that just because they lack in resources, or probably, now I think that our administrative part, if they start getting into all these things which are completely redundant, if they do not have manpower, it's the responsibility with the legislation. So they don't have manpower, you don't delegate them cases, the center or the legislative branch, they will never think of expanding the, let's say, the branches or expanding the authority. Isn't so? That, that's something very obvious, right? Because they know at some level that, okay, Supreme Court is really considering that we are low in manpower, we don't have uh, necessary manpower, so they would not bother us so much, even if, let's say, injustice happens, uh, you know whatever. So that somehow I think something that has to be thought at the legislative level or maybe at the executive level. The judiciary is thinking something that needs to be thought by other branches. I think redundant and sort of a complacency towards or showing leniency towards the government. And though this uh, might seem trivial or significant, but if you think of it in a broader picture, it's has a huge implication delivering civilian justice. Give you a very a very simple example. Look at number of judges. That most of the positions of number of judges which are vacant across. Now, the responsibility of filling up lies with both judiciary and. Now, if they start thinking that, well, we know we don't have enough judges, so let's just do something, maybe resort it into something shortcut, or we might delay the procedure, or we may not take this because we don't have enough manpower. If those are the thoughts that we grapple with, which are always to be something administrative, then how are we going to stand as a symbol of justice? That's a big question that I feel we have, because in this entire consideration there is very little that can be stated as judiciary in nature, or something that's judicious in nature, where you can see that, okay, I mean, thinking again from the line of justice, it seems something that you know uh, power, the position, uh, have been given the priority over the main objective of having judiciary. Let me know what do you think about it. I would hope to have some constructive feedback. Thank you.